Hey guys, last week I talked about getting organized. And one of the programs that I use is Trello. Okay, you should download that. It's called Trello, spelled Trello, Trello. And you can do your tasks, you can do your hot topics, you can do your in motion, um, and get all that information together in one central place. The screen's just gone off. And so think about your listing your retailers, your reps, all that sort of stuff, and then of course getting into that system where you've got your calendar up. Keep working that because you'll start to get more efficient with all the things that you have on your list. And then of course, nothing beats a good little to-do list for the hot topics, because trust me, your phone will just go off the hook. It'll just keep coming in. So I'm gonna give, I got a 5-minute slot here where I'm just gonna give you a few things about getting organized. But one of the other things is once you start getting organized and getting into a system, what's going to happen is you're going to start coming across sheets like buyer sheets, seller sheets, where you'll have to put things together where you have the picture of your product. You'll have, what's going to be the MSRP, what's going to be the wholesale, what are the SKU numbers, all that sort of stuff. But don't worry too much, because I'm going to go a little bit in depth on that. I'm going to finish off what I'm doing on this little program where I'm going to take you guys through those steps that I've gone through, because I remember when someone said to me, hey, I need the seller sheet, I need a seller form, and I was like, oh, what is that? And then eventually you find out what it is, you create it, and then every person wanted something different. So eventually what happened was I was like, I just can't win. It's like, I gotta put SKU, I've gotta put a UPC code, I've gotta put a picture, then I've gotta put, it just got to a point where I just saved everything. I put everything in a spreadsheet, and then now I can get a retailer like, say, Do It Best, who can call me up and say, hey, we wanna get into the program, can you send over a sheet, let's get this uploaded. And I just upload the system into their system, and it's already there. It's got the shipping weights, the sizes, all that sort of stuff that you're gonna build. But I'm gonna share shortly here. I'm gonna roll out and share with you the forms that I use, and it will just be plug and play. So you can basically, it'll have put your description here, and he'll be an example, and you'll be able to do that, because you want to. People say you want to be bigger than you are, okay? And it's not so much that, it's just being more organized. So you say, hey, they know you're a small company, you got a small invention, you get things going, but you can say, hey, here's my seller sheets, here's my sell forms that I'm doing. The first thing people are gonna say is, well, this guy's organized, and he must have a big team, or who's he using? Because people that are usually in the business for a while don't get to that style of paper trail, whatever you want to call it. But I'll get you there a lot faster by showing you how to really create the best sell sheets, the best spreadsheets on your product in your line. And then we'll go a little bit more in depth on how to save them, how to use, I use Gmail, I use my Google Drive, it works great, and I have all the tabs open. I'll show you stuff like that. But that's gonna come a little bit later, but for now, keep focusing, keep practicing getting organized, because you want to be up and beyond. You want to be more organized than you could ever think about, because like me, Friday I had a phone call with an investor. So investors come along and said, hey, I really like the product, I really like the brand, I really, can you just, I'm gonna be jumping on a plane for a few hours, can you send me over like an intro to the brand? I want a little bit more in depth. I'm like, sure, absolutely. So all I do is go in, this, and this, adds it in. He comes back and goes, wow, that's impressive. I like your seller sheets. I love your seller forms. I didn't know the business was as big as it first came across. Because see, what happens is when people see the product, or they see our product, they look and say, okay, let's say a computer screen. Okay, you've got a computer screen, but then you say, oh wait, I've got these covers that go on it. I've got 5 different mouses that match the color. I've got keyboard trays. You've got more of a brand, because people are gonna look at you and say, okay, I'm not just gonna invest in this. Okay, what's this gonna do? I mean, this is gonna compete with everyone else. And you'll learn that when I start showing you guys a little bit more about Facebook and Amazon and how Amazon works is you sell this, someone else is going to sell the same thing. So how do you be different? How do you have a full line? How do you have a full product brand that you're really building with? Because someone's going to be looking for this and then they're going to want to buy that, or they're going to be buying a computer screen, they're going to be looking for a mouse. How to put all that playing together. Now, obviously, I went a little bit off there, but coming back, it's all about being organized. It's not so much, and well, here's the other thing too, is when you have all the structure together, then it makes it a lot easier in creating your business plan. Because here's the funny thing, and people probably think I'm crazy on this, but people write a business plan before they even have a product. You have no idea where it's going to sell. You have no idea who you're going to sell to at that point. Now, you can look at a business plan originally and see, okay, you had, Bed Bath & Beyond, you had all these major companies. Well, what happens if you don't get into those companies? It completely changes your business plan. So the business plan for the first 3 months of this business plan would be an introduction on here's the people that we're going to talk to, here's who we're targeting through experience, here's who we're going to talk to at QVC or HSN, here's our influencers, all that sort of stuff. That's a little bit more appealing because you can say, hey, I'm keeping it real because here's my business plan, here's who I'm going after. Shows that you're organized, okay? Shows that you're organized, you've got a system in place, because the last thing you want to do is start flipping and flopping and not reading business plans. Because if you don't read the business plans and you flip and flop back and forth, very, very quickly you look disorganized, and you don't want that. And I've had people come to me and say, hey, I just want to let you know the guys that you're partnered up with, or a certain client that you've worked with in the past, in the early days, it just seems like they're just disorganized. They just really don't know what they want. And so you quickly have to get in there and say, okay, hey, I'll be the point of contact. Here's what we're going to do, and get everyone into that same system and same plan. Because it's better to be honest and say, hey, here's my plan, here's what I'm doing, here's my sell sheets. I know things are going to change. Here's my focus, but my business plan for the first year will change 4 to 5 times based on each quarter or something, or 4 times based on each quarter. Here's my introduction. Here's where I'm going with the brand. Here's what I'm trying to do. And here are my connections. Here's where I'm opening up the doors. So, but that all comes back to being organized, because then you can say, hey, here's my sell sheets, here's my spreadsheets, here's my catalog, here's what I'm doing, here's where I'm going, and just making that amazing presentation. So one of the steps that I'll show you is how to create a presentation, how to put your product together, how to make it look appealing, but at the same time, you're not putting a lot of extra fluff in there that really, if someone came back to you and said, okay, well, how do you expect to do $2.5 million in Bed Bath & Beyond this year? You'd be like, well, if someone said that to me, I was saying, absolutely. Well, here's the statistics on the test. Here's where I'm already in the stores. Here's who's ordering right now based on this, and this, which are like your KPIs, your key performance indicators. We plan to do this, this, and this. And in order to get there, we have to continue at a 43 or 47% sell-through rate. And just based on the last 2 months, we're at a 65% sales rate. People are like, oh, wow, okay, cool. That plan's working. Okay, that's great. What about, and that's how you got to do it. So be organized, have your spreadsheets down, and I'll show you a little bit more on that, because that's going to trigger your mind into knowing everything about your business, knowing the SKUs, knowing the numbers, and you'll get to a point where, I think it was last Wednesday, I got a phone call and someone said, hey, what's the UPC code for that one? And I'm like, yep, you got a pen? Because I know it off by heart. And I just called out the number, and they're like, wow, that's pretty good. And I said, well, I'll follow up. I'll send you an email. I'll send you another link with all the spreadsheets with all the UPC codes on. They're like, oh, that's amazing. That's great. And they're like, and that's what you have to be. You have to be organized. So get into your Trello boards, get into your systems with what hours of the day where you're spending, And basically, and I can give you a quick snapshot right here. I mean, you can see right there, there's my calendar right there. I mean, it's full, it's blocked out every 1, 2 hours, and 3. And it's based on everything that is more effective for me, you know, and when to put my own personal time in there to regroup on things, when to look at Facebook, when to look at Amazon, because you'll want to know everything about your business, but be organized. And I'll show you some certain ways. So I'm going to come out, like I said, look for something from me that's going to give you a spreadsheet download on the key things that you can implement into your business to get going. And then, of course, once you get a little bit organized, I think I'll start implementing some of the teams and getting guys on a fast track quickly and more efficiently. You want to be efficiently, because I can save you 75% of your money being wasted, because I've been there. When you waste money, you don't do it twice. If you do it twice, don't bother. You're listening to too many different scenarios, too many different people flip-flopping. You got to learn to the facts. You got to know where you're going to spend your money and do it. So anyway, all right, guys. Yeah, talking about time slots. It is time for me to sign off and get into work. So get working and take it easy, but be persistent, but also be patient and get organized.